Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this equation. So our equation here is 2 to the power of 3x minus 1 equals 3 to the power of x minus 2. And our goal here is to find the value of x. Well, what we're going to do first is we're going to take the log subscript 2 of 2 to the power of 3x minus 1. And we're doing this because remember, the log is the inverse of an exponent. So when we're taking the log with subscript 2 of 2 to the power of 3x minus 1, we're essentially canceling out our base here because these two cancel out. The log is the inverse. So if these two cancel out, then all we're left with is 3x minus 1. And we've just simplified our equation by a lot. However, what we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side. Meaning, we're going to have to take the log with subscript 2 of 3 to the power of x minus 2 as well. All right, so now what we're going to do this is we're going to use an important property of logarithms, and that is the power property. And that states that if we have a power here, we could go ahead and move this in front of the logarithm. So this would be x minus 2 times log subscript 2 of 3. And I'm going to put parentheses over here. So this is an important property of logarithms, and this still equals 3x minus 1. So now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute our log with subscript 2 of 3 to this x minus 2. So this is 3x minus 1 equals, well, x times log subscript 2 of 3 is simply x log subscript 2 of 3 minus 2 times log 2 3 is simply this. All right, so now as you can see, we have our equation here. And now what we're going to do is we want to get all the x's, all the terms with x on one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 on both sides to get rid of 1 on this side. And then I'm going to subtract x log on both sides so that this can be on this side and all the terms with x can be on the same side. All right, so this gets us to 3x minus x log equals negative 2 log plus 1. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to factor out x over here. We're going to factor out x from this expression. So if we factor out x, well, 3x divided by x is simply 3 minus x log divided by x is simply just log subscript 2 of 3 and this equals, well, I could just say 1 minus 2 of log subscript 2 of 3. All right, so now let's bring this over here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 3 minus log subscript 2 of 3 so we can isolate x. So if we divide by this on both sides, If we divide by this on both sides, we get that x here equals 1 minus 2 log 3 over 3 minus log subscript 2, 3. And this is our exact answer to this logarithm. However, people usually want a roundabout. They want a not exact answer, but an answer close to it. And this is x is approximately equal to, well, for this, we want to use a calculator because we can't get the exact answer just on paper. We need to use a calculator. So if I use my calculator here, I get negative 2.946. And this is my approximated answer. So this is how you solve this exponential. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to solve the equation x to the power of 4 minus 16 is equal to 0. So, my only variable in this equation is x, so that's the variable I'm going to be solving for. And now for my solution. What I'm first going to do is rewrite x to the power of 4 as x to the power of 2 times 2. So now I have x to the power of 2 times 2 minus 16 is equal to 0. Now from here, if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So x to the power of 2 times 2 is equal to x to the power of 2 to the power of 2. And I have this minus 16 is equal to 0. Now from here, I'm going to rewrite 16 as 4 squared. So now I have x to the power of 2 to the power of 2 minus 4 squared is equal to 0. And if I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is x squared and b is 4. So this turns into x squared plus 4 times x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Now I can divide this into two equations. I have x squared plus 4 is equal to 0, and x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. So for x squared plus 4 equals 0, I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So I get x squared is equal to negative 4. And now I'm going to take the square root on both sides. The square root of x squared is simply x. So I get x equals the square root of negative 4. Now the square root of negative 4 is the same thing as the square root of 4 times the square root of negative 1. And the square root of negative 1 is equal to I, so I get x is equal to 2i. And this is positive or negative. Now for x squared minus 4 equals 0, I'm going to simply add 4 on both sides. So I get x squared is equal to positive 4. And now if I take the square root, I get x is equal to positive or negative 2. So my four solutions are x equals 2i, x equals negative 2i, x equals 2, and x equals negative 2.